is going to welcome this and clap and so on and will not have any problems. But one question came up in one of the seminars. This guy got up and he says, "Sir, I don't think 30% people are going to come into your depository system at all." So I said, "Why is that?" He said, "There is a lot of unaccounted money in the country, and people have bought shares with unaccounted money. And your system will provide excellent audit trails. So anybody can know from where the shares have gone to where. And they're not going to join your system." So our reply to this was a little sanctimonious. Like I said, that I don't care what happens to you, 100 people are going to benefit. So if you have black money, to hell with you, you do what you want. We didn't reply in that language, but what we said was, look, we are building a good system. It is for the law-abiding citizens of this country. If somebody has not paid his taxes, then he has been clever enough not to pay taxes. He will be clever enough to find out how to use our systems. We thought it was a very clever answer. But what I'm going to submit to you that even this was not a clever answer. And why is that? So what I used to do in these seminars is that most of these initial seminars I used to attend personally. But I used to ask my officers to give the presentations. And the job that I had assigned to myself was that when this question answer thing is going on, I look into the eyes of the audience and I look for what are the reactions. And somehow after this question came up in 3-4 places, I went back and told my officers that, look guys, to this answer, I don't think the audience was with us. They were not satisfied. They didn't raise any further questions, but they were not satisfied with our answer. We need to come up with a better answer than that. We actually had, brainstorming session. He said, what is the answer that we need to give that will appeal to people? And we came up with an answer. We said that, okay, let us assume that you are right. 30% people will not come into the depository system. The income tax officers in this country are not fools. All that they need to do is to write a letter to the big companies saying, please give me the names of the people who have not put their shares in the depository. And you are sitting ducks. You have yourself revealed your name, that I am a guy who has unaccounted money. That's why I didn't go into the depository system. So we said that, thieves never form a colony because the police will simply surround it. They have to mingle with honest people so that police can't make out the honest guy from the thief. That's only when thief is safe. And I tell you, thunderous claps. I said, now the audience is with us. So the importance of communication and how you're going to communicate your message is very, very, very important. You can't just tell your electorate, look, I don't care about you. Yeah, I actually care about you. That's why you need to mingle with the depository system. Otherwise, you would be left out. And of course, different situations will demand different answers. But please remember that no reform benefits everybody. There is no such thing in this world. There will always be some interests that are adversely affected. And unless there is enough thought given to those interests also, and I'm not saying that you need to pander to them, but you need to give a thought to them so that you are able to take whatever you want to do forward. I think while implementation, the other thing that you will learn is that you have to keep your eyes and ears open to learn whenever an opportunity comes. Do not get stuck to an idea and say that now because I had this idea, now I'm not going to change. There are a whole lot of things that very common people can teach you. So this idea that we can learn only from educated and learned people is probably not right. And I'm going to give you a few examples now because I want to lighten up and not keep this whole thing very theoretical. From what actually happened in some of the instances when I was part of the public servant side, the bureaucracy, how the politicians reacted, and what lessons I learned from that, and I feel people can learn from that. So let's go back to my first 2 years of service, when I was an assistant collector, a subdivisional officer in some of the places they are called. And in one of my taluks, the MLA was a minister. So the minister mentions to me that, look, for the past 6-7 years, there is this particular minor irrigation tank that has been sanctioned by the government, but it can't progress because people are not willing to give their land. Can you talk to these people and make sure that they come round and we can have this minor irrigation work? This is the legitimate political demand. He was not asking for any personal favors. Minor irrigation work would have helped a lot of farmers. So a good thing to pursue. So as a young man, I go to the village. I had discussions with them. So my more seasoned Tehsildar, who is 50 years old, he first comes and whispers in my ear, sir, this village is controlled by the opposition party. So be careful. This guy has given you this job precisely for this reason. Nobody will listen to him here. It's the opposition guy. That doesn't matter, but let's understand their difficulties. I went there, talked to them about something. Didn't get any success, no positive response. In between, suddenly, one day, the irrigation minister of the state, this minister and one more minister, their visit is fixed to the district. And among the various places they are visiting, they are going to lay the foundation stone for this irrigation tank. So I didn't know what happened. I said, maybe they have sorted out the problem and they are going to do it. And my duty it was as an SDO to accompany them. As we come to this village, there is a line where all the women are standing who have blocked the road. And then the men folk of the village are behind them. Then the jeep was stopped and so on. One of the women comes forward as the representative and she said that first there were some armed policemen and so on. Ask them to take out their rifles and shoot at us. And only then you can go and do the foundation stone laying ceremony. Because it was high drama and no political leader will take a chance in such circumstances. So the irrigation minister thought it was an excellent platform for him. He got on, made that into a public meeting, addressed them and told them that there is no way government was going to have a minor irrigation tank there if these are the feelings of the people. I mean, he was doing the right thing as a politician, that look, I am with you. My sentiments are the same and the government will never not listen to you and all. This is out of the question. After this, 1 or 2 weeks pass. And then this guy who is opposed to the local MLA, who is from that village, who has control over that village, he comes to me and he says, sir, if you lay the foundation stone, we are ready to give land for the minor irrigation. Now this is political minefield. The ministers were not allowed, 3 ministers were not allowed to go there. This guy is saying one assistant collector who has put in 2 years of service should go there and lay the foundation stone. What should I do? I want a few suggestions from you.
You got to go and talk to the village people and try to explain the reasons of
The village people are ready. This guy controls that village. He is only in opposition to the MLA, so he wants to show his power.
You have to
that
talk
look,
to the ministers. The ministers posted. Talk to the ministers and you have to convince them. Because your job is
so, okay. One.
Foundation laying stone, probably, but for the inauguration, final inauguration, you invite the minister.
After the foundation stone is laid, he'll be accusing you of playing into the hands of the other minister.
Opposition.
that
Yeah.
do what you do.
So not an easy situation, certainly not for a 26-year-old person. More seasoned people will be able to handle it better. Sorry?
Invite the head of the village or somebody who's senior most person to inaugurate.
Okay.
Decide when the function. So get the project initiated and then call over the MLA and all those things for the final.
Okay, so I'll add some masala to this thing, but no mystical masala. Actually, what was the situation in the district? Just 2 months before that, in another part of the district, over land acquisition for a medium irrigation project, there had actually been firing and 2-3 people had died. So there was a magisterial inquiry, all that is going on. Now these people say you come there. So I first went to, being a very constitutional person, I went to my collector. And I told him that, sir, this is the situation. What do you think I should do? The collector was an old man, he was not a direct recruit. So he had seen many seasons and was really a seasoned person. So he decided not to take any responsibility. He said, do whatever you think is right. So I was left with a lot of guidance. Again, I said, what do I do now? Just do what you want to do. He said, but when you go, take police protection. Don't go without that. Because we have already had an incident in the district. So I did something, I'm not claiming that was the right thing to do, but I did something along the lines of what you said. I rang up the minister, not the irrigation minister, but the minister who had asked me that can you intervene and start this work. I said, sir, do you remember you had said that I should resolve this problem? He said, yes. So I said, I am in a position to resolve it, but the condition of the villagers is that I should go and do the foundation stone laying ceremony. He was a large-hearted man. He says, go ahead and do it. I have been wanting this work for a long time, and I know that fellow is obstructing it. So if he wants a foundation laying stone from your hands, fine. The irrigation minister question was still there. I decided that I'm not going to tackle it. And I went there and did the second part of the suggestion. So when I went there and talked to the villagers, I said, what is the problem? Why were you opposing it for so long? So they said, sir, you say that you will do land acquisition. The land acquisition money does not come for 6 and 7 years. So you take away our lands, the beneficiaries get all the benefit. I don't get anything by way of compensation for so many years. What am I supposed to do? I said, okay, this land acquisition case, in exceptional cases, the subdivisional officers do handle land acquisition cases. Otherwise, they are with specialized land acquisition officers. I said, this particular case, I am promising you, I will go to the collector myself and I take it upon myself. And your compensation will be distributed in 6 months' time. Anyway, so all those things were resolved. I said, now, so they said, now there is time. You can, typically, it must be in Karnataka also, in Maharashtra, they have that pickaxe. So with the pickaxe you do this thing and you break a coconut on the pickaxe and that's it. The work has started. So, okay, one thing I forgot. The collector had instructed me to take police protection with me. I was determined not to take any police protection because I did not want to inaugurate something under police protection. But I was also determined that being a very constitutional person, I don't want to disobey my collector. So I took one constable with me who was not armed. And I told him, your job is just to be there. That is it. So that part I had fulfilled. I said, now that the time has come, I want to know who is the oldest person in the village. Who is the most respected person. Please bring him here. And I made him do the inauguration. So that's part of the suggestion. We came back. This story doesn't end there. So that's the other element I want to introduce in what you will also face. Much less. The story is of 1977 than today because electronic media was not there, few people and all. So we were not so conscious of what media can do. After this inauguration was over, everything peacefully, I went back, very happily went to the collector, gave him my report and told him that nothing happened, I didn't have to use police force. This land villagers have given willingly their compensation on time. I had not realized that there is a media role in this. So next day in the newspaper, not a headline, but sufficiently prominent on the first page, what the ministers can't do, officers have done. So I didn't know how to handle it. I mean, at that age, you have no idea. What are you going to do with this kind of a headline? I said, where my minister said, go ahead. Now the irrigation minister will be irritated seeing this headline. So I went to my collector and I said, sir, this is what has happened. He said, look, we can't do anything about this thing. People will print whatever they want to, so you just go and relax. Nothing happened. There was no reaction from any minister, nothing. So media is not happy with that. Media does many constructive things, but it does some interesting things as well. So another correspondent goes to the minister in Bombay, shows him the clipping and says, what is your comment? Yes. The irrigation minister, very interestingly, he says, I have seen this. We are very proud of such officers. And my request to government will be post more such officers in my district so that many more things will get done. You know, that teaches you that political class is not bad. That is what the bureaucracy goes there with that impression. But one man had the large-heartedness to say, okay, go ahead and you do this thing. The other man caught unawares and with a headline like this, what ministers can't do, the officers have done. His reaction is, I'm very proud of this. What's the problem? So he completely finished the problem there. And I think he taught me a great lesson there, that when you are pursuing some development schemes, your ego doesn't matter. That is what you should be able to leave behind. Who laid the foundation stone is a completely peripheral question to the minor irrigation tank coming there and people actually getting irrigation. How many of us can rise above that is a question mark. But my suggestion to you is that in taking up these works, as political representatives, as representatives of people, there is great temptation to see that credit must come to me. It's even more than it would be present in the bureaucracy. But remember that if you have done something really good, the credit cannot go away from you. Anybody may say anything. The credit will come to you, but do not try to do something extra in order to get that credit. There is no need for that at all. So this is a lesson that I think I learned, and I think it's worth learning for everybody. Another example. This time I am a collector in Nanded district. And this is all Maharashtra. Yeah. The earlier story was from Ahmednagar. So a little more mature. I have learned the ropes. I know that you can't achieve anything as civil servants alone. You need the politicians to be on your side, to be able to push any developmental work that you want to push. But I'm also extremely wary of going to a politician and requesting something, because I know that a favor given means a favor will be demanded sometime in future. But that need not be always the case. And what I would say is that as bureaucrats, we have to learn that there are good politicians and there are crooks as well. And you must know how to use the good part, the good politician part and the good part of the crook. Here I was lucky, there was a good politician there. He was sitting in the center. Now what had happened was that a dam had been constructed, but the canal land could not be acquired. So you had the storage of water, all capital expenditure done, but no use to the beneficiaries at all, because the canal land could not be acquired. When we asked the land acquisition officers, why is this land not being acquired? Are people resisting? Do I need to go and talk to the people? And they said, no sir, land is not such a huge piece of land that any one farmer loses. So that's not the problem. We are short of surveyors. So unless survey is done, land acquisition work cannot proceed. I said, what have you done? Then we have requested the settlement commissioner to send the surveyors, but he doesn't have enough staff. How long do you need and this staff and how many? They gave me some numbers, say 10 surveyors for 3 months. I said, okay, that's all the demand is. Why is this being unmet? So I tried my best with the settlement commissioner's office, didn't succeed. So I did something by then, because I had not remained such a constitutional man, that probably not always should be done, but if the need arises, anyway, I'll come to the lesson later, but I'll tell you what I did. I went to this union minister who was from my district and told him, I said, sir, the settlement commissioner's office is being completely adamant. We have this asset in the district which is unutilized and it is criminal. For every scheme I keep telling people I don't have enough money. And where money has already been spent, I don't see any benefit. We just can't tolerate this kind of a situation. This man was very senior, he had been the chief minister. I don't know whether all of you would know his name, C.B. Bhave. He had been the chief minister of Maharashtra and then he was in the center as the union planning minister. He was a real hard taskmaster. In 3 days, the settlement commissioner rang me up and said, Bhave, how many surveys do you want and for how long? I am ready to send them. Who told you there is shortage? I said, no sir, nobody told me. It must be some misunderstanding at the lower level. So let's just forget about it. Send me 10 surveys for 6 months because my chaps had told me 3 months. I said, let it be for 6 months. If my work gets done faster, I'll. The lesson I learned from this was that while it is true that normally we must follow our official channels and I must never as a public servant go against my own officialdom to a politician to get a job done. But if your intentions are honest and if you're doing something really for public works, then you have to ultimately use this logic somewhere that after all rules were made for what? Not for just sticking to them for the heck of it. They were made in order for machineries to function smoothly. And if in the process of these rules you are seeing this kind of waste, then for that moment at least to hell with the rules. Let me just go ahead. But there are many boundary conditions that need to be met. The last example I want to give you, and this I would urge you keep it in mind all the time. You never know where education comes from. And listen to the what on the face of it looks like the most uneducated guy. He will throw some light on some issue that would be most invaluable to you. And this is a situation of floods in Nanded district. We had 50% of the season's rainfall in 48 hours. So you can imagine the havoc it caused in the water systems in the whole district. Nanded city is on the banks of Godavari. In the catchment area of Godavari, previous 48 hours there had been huge rainfall. So all that water also got added. And we had mayhem. In Nanded alone, and I'm talking of 1983, we had to evacuate something like 14,000 people from low-lying areas, and we had to find place for them. So all schools were closed, all marriage halls were told that marriages are cancelled, and these people were all put in those halls. When you congregate people of different types into this kind of thing, some of the serious issues that are there are, one, sanitation, second thing, health. Because you don't know who is going to contact what disease from whom. You're packing people into a hall. And the third is, of course, the logistic of supplying them food and so on. But anyway, that everything is in place. Nanded didn't have much of an airport. There was just one strip there and a little restroom. And Dada had this sugar problem, so a bathroom for him was very necessary at frequent intervals. So we had made arrangements there and all that. He went to the bathroom, he comes back. As soon as he sits down, the opposition MLA from Nanded, he gets up And he says, sir, there is absolute chaos here. This collector doesn't know what he is doing. People have been put into camps. They have got no food till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That is when food comes. No doctor has ever visited them. When they shifted here, they had to carry their luggage on their heads and come to these camps. By then, I'm still a young man, even though seasoned, so I was 33 years old by then. I lost it. And I told the Chief Minister, I said, sir, this man was not in Nanded when the floods came. He doesn't know anything. You can't talk about MLAs like that. But anyway, I said it. So the Chief Minister said, no, I want to go and visit some relief camps. So you please tell me which relief camps I can go to. So I was still angry. So I put the map on the table and I said, sir, you point your finger. Because if I say you go to this relief camp, this MLA will tell you that I have taken you only to places where I have made good arrangements. So you pick up at random, 2, 3, whatever, I'll take you there. The Chief Minister looks out and he says, you know, that pilot has told me that planes cannot land in Aurangabad after a certain time, so I am in a hurry. You choose the 3 nearest camps. I said, okay. As we are leaving, there were 2, 3 ministers with him. So he told 2 of them to go out of the car. One person, he said, sit next to the driver. The collector is going to sit with me. As the car started, he says, what's gone wrong? Why is this MLA talking like this? I cannot believe that your machinery has not done any work. So I said, sir, I have no idea. He's never come to me. He suddenly appears here and starts making these complaints. I can't tell you anything. He says, no, something must be wrong. I couldn't answer that question, so I left it at that. We go to the camp. Now here are the lessons. What does this man do, the Chief Minister? He walks into the camp. He goes straight to an old lady. Okay. Why a choice of an old lady? Very unlikely to tell you a lie. Very unlikely to paint a picture because a certain political party wants it that way. So you can get truthful feedback from her. And he says, Ajibai, jeevan झालं? Have you had food? Now this is about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So he says, yeah, I have had my food. Kawat झालं की, which means I had my food long back. So he said, Acha? Had any doctor come here? रोज येतो की, comes every day. So he says, where is your saman? So she had that cot, I don't know what you call it in Kannada, where it's a wooden frame and rope is tied. Okay. So macha, then she had a trunk and a few cloth bundles. So the Chief Minister says, oh. All this luggage on your head? How did you come here? No, your government had provided trucks and buses. That's the arrangement we had made. Oh, I see. By then, the MLA and his gang of people come in. They say, sir, come to this person. Chief Minister looks at his watch. No. The plane cannot land in Aurangabad. I need to leave. This man left. Now you see what he had done. He had received 3 complaints. Doctors never go, food doesn't reach on time, and there was nobody to help people evacuate. He's verified all the 3 of them. Okay, obviously a Chief Minister cannot have ability to verify little things, but he's verified all the 3 things. He goes back to Aurangabad. From there on to Bombay. In Aurangabad was my commissioner, revenue commissioner. I get a call from him. I'm very happy that this visit went off well and so on, but not very happy about what the MLA had done. I get a call from my commissioner. So my commissioner says, what magic did you weave around the Chief Minister? So I said, sir, what happened? No, he was full of praise for you. And I said, that's nice of him, but one MLA had complained and all that, so I was not in a good mood. So he said, that's okay, but he has left a message with me. I said, what did he say, sir? He says, he has told me that tell Bhave that he is doing very good work, but he is not involving the politicians in that. So he needs to form a lot of committees on which these people should be given representation.